Hi. Welcome to Try It Out Tuesday. I have decided that tonight we're going to be working on one of the Burlap pages. Because in fairness, with regards to questions on the Dina Wakley album, this is the one I probably get asked most. What can I do on the Burlap pages? So we'll wait for a few more people to join in, and then when we do, we'll get started. Right, because here we go. Oh, there's my voice. How hideous! Isn't it horrible listening to your voice in a recording thing? Never works, does it? It's like I can't possibly sound like that. That's atrocious, you know. Right. Okay. So here we are. Right, so like I said, I'm going to be working on the Burlap page in here. Like I say, it is one of the things, because I think in terms of being intimidating, if you're trying out a new surface, it can be one of the worst. You know what I mean? You can't think, well, what am I going to do with that? In a way, in terms of a journal, you know, you look at a piece of white paper, and it's, although that can be intimidating a lot of the time, you know, you've decided to try something new, so you've got yourself a media journal, and now you're looking at this burlap or even the linen pages, and you're like, I'm stuck. What am I going to do? Now, I have done a couple of burlap pages in this journal already. Let's just go and find them, so you can have a look at what I've already done. So I've got that one here, and I used the Doodle Art butterfly and dragonfly on there, and some big ones in texture paste, which we'll probably use a bit of again, I can't lie. And then on this one down here, the other one I've done, I actually did this totally off camera. There's you know, I didn't record this at all, because this was my first ever go at burlap, and if it went horribly wrong, I wanted to be able to just cut it out. Or at least show you what I did wrong. It was just, you know, it was really to get some experience with it, so that's quite cool. Now you can see when I did this one, I didn't seal it at all, so things did go through, which is absolutely fine. Again, this one, no sealing going on. A little bit, but not much. Okay, what I've done on this one, okay, is I have put some collage matte medium on it, just to seal it a little bit. But what I will still do, you see, is I will still use a blending mat to just put there, and then that's absolutely fine. Okay, now I think we're going to go for, I absolutely love using Dylusions paint on these. I think they just show up really well. I think the vibrancy holds pretty well, but I'm thinking, just to mix it up, we'll do Dylusions Shimmer paint. Okay, so I'm going to get some of the fresh lime, the polished jade, the Calypso teal, do you know what? I've changed my mind. I'm going to put the Calypso teal back. I'm going to get some London blue and crushed grape. Okay, we're going to use these. Now, I will be using my blending mat as a palette. So do you know what? I'm going to swap it for one that's already really painty. You can clean these off and scrape them. I just don't, because I'm rubbish. Because my palette still has Dylusions ink in it. Because every time it gets to the stage where I've almost used everything in it, I then add more. So this is Dylusions ink spray in here. I have used it quite a bit over the last couple of weeks. So when it dries out, you can just reactivate it with water. So I don't want to wash it all away, because there's goodness in there. There'll be goodness. And there you are. And I don't want to wash it all away. So, yeah, so you, like Sam's just said, with your burlap pages and your linen pages and whatever, you just work them in exactly the same way. Okay? Now, if you don't gesso them or anything like that, obviously you are going to get some stuff go through, so you have to maybe think about that on the other side, but you can always just cover it. Or you can seal it and then it doesn't. To be honest, I'm very much, in terms of leaking through or inking the seams or anything like that, I'm very much, that's a tomorrow's problem. Just craft and have fun with it, okay? And if you need something sorted to sort out the next day, and you're not sure how to, or whatever, stick a photo in the group and say, right, I've been journaling, I've been doing whatever, this has come through, what would be your next step, okay? And then we will be there to help, because that's what we're for, okay? Whilst I've got you here, actually, just a couple of things about the group. The challenge is still running. It's a white space challenge. You can do a journal page, a tag, anything like that. But also, if you are making party decorations or anything like that for the Queen's Jubilee, okay, there is a free Union flag pennant doodle art, drawn in doodle art style, and there's one coloured in and one black and white. It's free for you to download for personal use in the Crafty Stamps group, and that will only be available until the end of this month. I might do it to the end of June as well, actually, because that is actually Jubilee month. But my point is, it's not available inevitably. It will be deleted at some point. Okay, enough waffling. Not that I ever waffle, of course, because that would be terrible. Terrible. Okay. So I'm going to take some paint. Right, let's get these shookity-shook up. You actually like the seepage that went through? Yeah, exactly. For me, it can almost give you a leaping off point, can't it? To the next project, which is really good. So there we have some of the crushed grape. Sam, and on the finger, look at that. Sam can't actually, you know how Sam takes the mick out of me for when we're stock taking. I won't go into it because it is a bit rude. Stock taking at a certain stage of the distress inks. Well, Sam, whenever we're stock taking Dylusions, and she gets to crush grape, it turns into, oh, I could crush a grape. Honestly, every single time, without fail. Without fail, every time. Now, I'm hoping that on here you can really see the pearly shimmer that's coming off these, because what I love about these shimmer paints is, well, that one wasn't closed properly, so it was going to be thick, but that's fine. What I love about these shimmer paints is it is really, do you know what, I'm going to stand up to make sure you can see. It really is a sort of iridescent shimmer. It's not a glitter or even a heavy duty pearl. It's just a really soft, subtle pearl. Which just works. Which is fabulous. Who's been waiting by the letterbox for 2 days? Dominic. Okay. So I was going to say, I remember seeing yours, Dominic, so it's definitely gone. Right, so I'm just going to go on, and I think I'm gonna, yeah, we're going to work in a rectangle. We're going to stick a few of these in and just sort of layer them up a little bit without giving too much fuss to exactly how they're going on. A little bit of crushed grape in there we go. You've got to be careful, in particular if you're using the greens near the crushed grape, okay? That is a recipe for mud. So be careful with those two together, alright? So I would say, you know, use, or what you could do is use the others together, almost give it a little bit of drying time, and then go back with your crushed grape if you wanted to, just to prevent too much mixing. Because your crushed grape, or in your sprays, your funky fuchsia, okay, they are what I politely refer to as your danger colours, okay? They are the ones that if they're going to mix for mud, they do. So you have to be really, really careful with them and just give them a bit of space, okay? Give them a bit of time. All right. I'm going to go on here. Now, you'll see there will be a little bit of seepage, but I think that's because I mainly did in here with the thing. But it doesn't matter. I mean, I could totally Vicky Pollard am I bothered it, but I won't, because that's just embarrassing at my age. Okay. Now, the wicked thing about working on the burlap, in my opinion, is it does dry relatively quick. So... Dun, dun, dun. Right, so now I'm gonna just go and put a little bit of... See, so if you go in with the crushed grape after, you do sort of... You don't have to worry quite as much. I do think with the fresh lime, the mud is more obvious. I think it does get that muddiness much easier, whereas if you're going up with something like the sorry, the polished jade. Is that the same with all purples? Absolutely, Sally. Purple is a danger colour when it comes to colour theory. Okay? They're but I always use Dylusions as an example because it was Diane Reevely's explanation of colour theory that really sort of made sense to me. So I always use her as an example. And I always credit her for it as well. There is a video on the YouTube channel where I use Dylusions Shimmer Spray to talk colour theory. And it's exactly the lesson that Diane Reevely taught me. Because if somebody teaches you something, you should tell people that they did. Because it's just good etiquette, isn't it? Always in the danger zone with purples. Highway to the danger zone. Oh yeah, there's a new film about that coming out, isn't there? New Top Gun. But anyway, I digress. Okay, what I need now is I'm going to put that aside to dry. And I'm going to get some of the new stamping tissue. But the thing is, I have cut quite a lot of it down. And I want... Oh, actually... That's going to work, actually, in there, isn't it? Okay. Right, so we're just going to lift that out there. Then we're going to move our journal out the way. I say that as if there's just a large amount of lovely clear space around my desk. Spoiler alert. No, there is not. But did you really think there was? Okay. Now from here, I'm going to go to, and I've got a particular idea I want to do with this one. I'm going to go to Mandala Doodle Art 2. That's 1. This is 2. Okay, and I'm going to go for this one here. Okay, and I'm going to cover this little sheet of stamping tissue with this mandala specifically. Now, I have to say, lots of you were very wily and got and stocked up on your Super Skinny Slims in the spring sale. I will also say about your wiliness, you were very wily because they weren't even supposed to be in the spring summer sale. I'd done the whole stamping category. So well done you. That's all I'm saying. Well done. I'm proud of you, really. Right, so what colours would we think are going to go with those beautiful colours? So I think we need... Villainous Potion, absolutely. Maybe we're thinking maybe Lucky Clover, or we'll go for a prize ribbon to go for the London Blue, so that will coordinate with the crushed grape. We could sort of do with a Twisted Citron. Okay, and that sort of goes with a fresh lime. And in fairness, it's not a very big piece, so I'm not going to worry too much about going with a polished jade. Okay, so there we go. Use the new stamping tissue on Sunday. It's fab. You found it easier to use than the collage paper. Fantastic. That's absolutely brilliant. And the nice thing is, we're not saying you have to pick one or the other. I'll tell you what I am going to do though. I'm going to get a bigger piece of collage paper and put under stamping tissue, sorry, under the bit I'm about to stamp on, and then when it stamps on the excess, I've got another bit started, haven't I? Here we go. So we're just going to put this down. I'm going to take some Villainous Potion first, and we're going to stamp that on there. Now, like I said, I'm going to be collaging this onto the burlap page, okay? But I am using Distress ink, Distress Oxide, which is water-based, okay? And that means my collage medium is going to potentially make it run. So I'm really going to focus using my collage medium on the back as much as possible, just to try and stem the flow of that just a little bit, basically. Okay. Now, no, I can't lie. In order to make a really funky background piece, I'm going to move that round. And then we're going to go with our Twisted Citron. Okay, I'm going to overlap. Well, that is actually going to go with that Shimmer Fresh Lime really, really well, isn't it? Okay. And the thing is, you can stamp up loads of little backing. Did you see I took a big breath in and it blew away? Backing paper pieces like this, and just, you know, and then just keep them, rip them up, use them as backing papers for layering up, starting pages where you're not sure where to start, this sort of thing. I was going to say, I know lots of you also treated yourself to the mandalas bundle, but we haven't taken the bundle off, so you know, you still can get that bundle deal if you wanted both mandalas. But I think it's one of those, I find with the mandalas, and I've spoken to a few people about this, I think instantly, in a way, you're drawn to mandala 1, but when it comes to, especially if you buy the bundle, but when it comes to usability and building background and stuff, mandala set 2 is actually really good, because like I say, you can cut frames out of this one as well. They, you know, there's just a lot you can do with them. There's a lot you can do with all of them though. But I obviously like them all, because I drew them all. And let's face it, these are the 12 that made the cut. There were lots more. This was one of those, right, we've got to whittle it down things, because we just can't do. So I'm just going to turn this round to just mix it up on me backing sheet I'm making. You know, and it is, honestly, trying to whittle things down when you're doing drawing, it's a nightmare. It really is. I think me and Sam have discussed at some point what we're going to do is, when there's a new release coming, we're going to put all the raw, for want of a better description, drawings into, do you know what, that Lucky Clover might do the polished jade. Sorry, I've just noticed my Lucky Clover over here. I'm going to give it a whirl. Oh, that is. And let you guys pick them, and you can bear the responsibility. Oh yes, that's definitely a matchy for polished jade. That is. Oh wow. Oh yeah. Add a couple of them on. Right. You see, and I've got another piece now of stamping tissue ready. Who knows? You see, this is the thing, you see. I've just seen Alison say she loves Mandala Set 2, but it's the one she was sent for DT work. Well, here's the thing with the Mandala Set, you see, because there was 2, when we first sent them to the DT team, we made sure that, in fairness, we didn't send them both sets initially, because we wanted to make sure they all got used. And did you like my little dance move there? It's quite good, wasn't it? Yeah. You love it. Right, so here we go. Let's see how this journal page is getting on for drying. It's a little bit wet, but those are a bit thick. That's fine. What we're going to do, so this is then going to go into the middle here. This is really weird. This is like nothing I've ever made before. I absolutely love it. I love weird. It's marvellous. I'm loving the weirdness of it, which is great. But I want to add some pen into there after. I'm not sure if I should put some white behind there to make that stick out a bit more. I honestly don't know. Or whether to do a couple of layers, maybe, of stamping tissue. Intrigue. So obviously we know this blends really in with the background. No? Right, okay, let's go for it. No, I can't remember which side is the front. It's alright, so it's going to be a bit of blendy. I'll tell you what we'll do. We're going to heat set it a little. As much as we can. Just to stem the flow. Okay, it does stand out on camera, but I'm just wondering, will it when it's got the collage medium? That's my concern. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put primarily, I know it seems like a lot, but the burlap, obviously some does go through, so you do lose some and whatever. So I'm going to put my collage medium onto here. Okay. I'm going to use my fingers. Just push it in. Oh, I think some loose bits might be good actually. I'm loving this sort of loose edge. Gives sort of like a sketchy feel. Oh yeah, this is the way. This is the way, I'm telling you. Right, so I'm going to really press that in. It's not disturbed. I've got a couple of paint marks on there, but that's fine. This is the way, I'm telling you. Ooh, I'm so excited. Push that in. And I don't think we've lost any of the definition really, have we? That bit's got a bit wet. That's alright though. I wanted it to be sort of like bright, funky colours, but sort of have a loose, rustic feel, because I think that's going to go with the burlap. And if you get me, this is ridiculously enjoyable. I can't mind. Marion, you had a complete splurge. I wouldn't out you for that, but all I'm going to say is yes, you did. Okay, right. So what I'll do is I'm just going to waft a heat gun on this just to get it started. I'm not going to worry about getting it too dry because I have still got the house to do, haven't I? So I've still got some houses to do. I'm really, really pleased with how this looks, and I like the little soft edge where it's not stuck down all the way. I think that's really, really nice. Right. Okay, on to the next bit. Wait, but the only problem is I am going to need this. No, it'll be fine. Put that back in. Whee! Okay. So from here, and this is something that has literally just come to me, I'm going to get a piece of craft card. Oh, that is an actual craft card, but that's fine. That will work. Okay, and then we're going to put a Doodle Art house on here, and then use those colours to paint it. Alright, so I have stuck all the dies to the front of my Doodle Art houses. I will say, if you do want the stamps with the dies. I will get them sooner rather than later because we haven't decided if the dies are something we're going to continue, okay? And we do only have a limited amount. Oh, just dropped one. Right, so do we go Rainbow View, Villa Rose, the Birdhouse, or Sky Terrace? Or we could do a couple. Pick two. Sally did have a splurge. Pick two. See, the moon and birds, a lot of people you say have got it. Sorry, I digress. So if you're following later on YouTube, this will be confusing. The moon and birds that a lot of you treated yourself to, they were out of stock until Thursday. And then I found some. So not only did I get them in stock, got me a discount. Which is great. Okay, so Sue says Rainbow View. Excellent. So we're thinking a Rainbow View with maybe a Sky Terrace, because that way we've got like a short one and a tall one. Okay, a slightly shorter one than a slightly taller one. It's like me and Sam. I've got like 2 inches on her. That's it. You know, you look at them and you think that one's the tall one, but it's not really. Make of that what you will. Right. So I am going to stamp in black because I am going to use some of my Pigma Microns later to add some things to the background paper. So I am going to stamp in black, she says, with utter confidence, and when she can't see her black ink pad at all. It's right there. It was just upside down. Yes, Sam doesn't... Oh, hello. I'm going to put that in the middle of the block. Sam has never called Rainbow View Rainbow View. Sam calls it the Smarty House, because when I coloured in the artwork for it, she says I made the roof look like a tube of Smarties, because I used so many different colours. But that's fine, because only Smarties have the answer. So, whatever, Trevor. And then... Did I take Rainbow View off? I did, didn't I? If you were my Rainbow View stamp, where would I have put you? That's the question. It's over here. Yeah, so Sam, she thinks she's being funny there. And who knew I don't give things their real name? Sam does it all the time, okay? She doesn't give things their real names. So I'm just inking up with VersaFine Clair here, and then I'll heat set it, and then I can use my poison of choice when it comes to colouring. So yeah, Sam, there was a fella who owned a company in one of the units opposite to where Be Crafty is, and I spent years, so in Sam, always referred to him as Alan. Oh, Alan's in. Oh, Alan dropped some post in, you know, blah, blah, blah. Oh, excellent. Right. So the problem is, when I went to talk to this fella one day, he's all kitchens. And I went to talk to him one day. I've just missed a bit there, so I'm just going to go in. Where's my... This is because I'm too busy telling this story. So I went one day to talk to him about kitchens. So I was thinking of redoing my kitchen. I have to say, this was about 5 years ago. And I still haven't redone my kitchen. I painted it instead. Like the cupboards. Anyway. Whatever. So I addressed this man as Alan. His name was not Alan. It still isn't, funnily enough. His name's Colin. And she called him Alan. But the thing is, Sam, I'm not saying you can't call him Alan, but you need to tell me his name isn't Alan and that's just the name you've given him. Yeah, someone's name's what you call them. I think we all know what I was calling you for the week. Goodness gracious. Just, I couldn't believe it. I could believe it. She's always pulling that sort of nonsense on me. like I say, it's not the, you know, you called him Alan, Sam. It's the fact you didn't tell me his name wasn't actually Alan. Unnecessary. Okay. Right. Now I'm distracted. Do you know, I was just thinking, I don't know where my plates are, but I think I do. So let's cut these out with the dies. Sorry guys, I think we're in for a bit of a long one this evening. I'm really taking my time, I know. So, put this over here. Now, all of the dies we have for our stamps, I'm not going to lie to you, like I said, we're not entirely sure if we're going to continue with dies, so if there's any you want, get them. I just think it's only fair I tell you. But all of them leave a little edge around the outside because that's what I like. And they're mine, so I get to choose. Ja. That's how it rolls in the Shire. Alright. So I have a very old, weather-worn Spellbinder's Grand Caliber, which I absolutely adore. Okay. Because it does the job, never lets me down. I have let it down though, I can't see the cutting plate. I really can't see my cutting plate. Tell you what, I'm an absolute liability. Absolute liability. Okay. Well, as I have actually cut into my base plate before, I am just going to risk it. I'm just going to use the wrong plates because, yeah. And then I'll sort it all out. Another day, yeah, and it'll be another day I'm sat here talking to you and I've realised I haven't sorted it. But you know, what is it that TikTok is what they're going to do? They're going to catch me? Kill me? They'd have to catch me first. I'm like a whippet. I mean, I'm not like a whippet. My dog is though. No, and they didn't go through, and all I've done is got the ink on my thing. Can't believe I can't find my cutting plate. Do you know what? I can't find my cutting plate. That's my fault. But that does mean you're going to have to watch me cut them out. I'll be quick. And I will answer any questions you have whilst I'm cutting out. Okay? Okay. Is there a trick to getting that border even? No. I just sort of do it by eye, truth be told. To be honest, the cutting blade is in the centre of the metal bit, okay? So if you put the inside of the metal bit even around the stamped image, okay, it should be even all the way around. Okay, so for example, if you take this here, right, so the blade is in the very centre of the metal line. So if you put this down, you can see all of the stamped image inside in terms of the lines. That will put your line an even space around the edge, okay? So what have we all been... Has everybody entered the challenge? Yeah. I do hope so. Because, oh, while I'm here, what I can also tell you is Sally has a live tomorrow, right here at 8 o'clock. I am live tomorrow in Crafting Together with All Brands at 2. And, see, super quick. I promised I would be. The dies would have been quicker though. I think we all know that. The smaller ones are trickier, I totally agree. I totally agree. The clouds I'm fine with as well. But yeah, if you can, just take that extra minute or so and just try and get it so that the entirety of the stamped image is in the line. Actually look at where the edges are before you layer it up. And you'll see, you know, I think we all know there is not a hope that I get it perfect every time. Okay. Alrighty. Move that to the side, and I'm going to bring my journal back in. Here we go. Because then we'll be able to see. So these have actually come out a bit bigger than I thought. But I think that's okay. I think they really work on there. Do we think we need to add some colour to them, or are we just going to leave them craft? What do you think? Well, that's probably a bit better that way. Yeah, we're going to leave them craft, or shall I put some craft? Yeah. That's what I think. I think they really bring the burlap border out, don't they? Okay, so do we think like that? Rainbow view down, rainbow view up. I think rainbow view down. Oh yes, might do a bit of white highlights, Mailer. Might do a bit of white highlights. Still can't find my Posca though, so I have got my Sharpie. Okay. Right, okay. So let's move that slightly to the side. I'm going to get my Dylusions white linen ink spray, which I store on the side, and you can see why. Okay, because of the sediment there. It stops it getting sucked up the tube if you use it. That being said, I think we all know that that's not really how I use it primarily. But that's okay. It's still best to store it the correct way in case I do want to spray it through a template or anything like that. I think we could also add a little bit of in my life. No, maybe some mandala inkable. That could be quite cool with some texture paste. We might do that in a second. No, I think that's quite done. Alrighty, so we're gonna add a bit of this on here because I just think it needs it, and then we'll do some. The black doodling might have to wait until it's a little bit drier. But that's all right. Oh, there's white flicks everywhere now. It's lovely. All over my phone. I honestly tell you, I'm not bothered. And then we're going to heat that. And get that started on there. Right, and like I say, I'm going to use my white Posca. No, I'm going to use my white Sharpie because my Posca has still vamoosed. I don't know where to. I suspect a child. Or a husband. One of them has robbed it. Okay. And tile there. The reason I don't like using the Sharpie is because the nib is too big. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This one we're going to do. Yeah, Sammy, remind me to come away with a new Posca tomorrow, because I can't carry on like this. I feel like a heathen. 2, 3. And we'll do some odd tiles in here. And the thing is, like I say, the Doodle Art houses on their backing cards give you loads of fun ways to maybe colour them in. Things like that. But I think sometimes it's really cool just to sort of not, for want of a better description, you know, take them somewhere else. For example, if I flip this page over, I feel like I haven't used the Doodle Art houses in ages, but then I realise I've used them in this journal several times. So I obviously just like them with the different media you can get in this journal. Tomorrow in Crafting Together All Brands, I will be using the Jumpstart journal again, because some people in that group have asked me about it. So, you know, if you want to see another page in the Jumpstart journal, I will be in there doing that. If that's something that interests you specifically. I planned on adding butterflies and all sorts to this page, but I don't think that's going to work. Need to go over there a little bit more. Oh yes. Right, I'm going to take these off again just for a second. Okay, and go with the Mandala, the Distress Matte Texture Paste. Gone to Posca del Sol for a holiday. Yes! Who made that marvellous witticism? Caroline! Marvellous. Posca del Sol. Oh, funnily enough, in a couple of weeks, I'm not going to the Costa del Sol. I'm going on a hen do, right? And I've been telling everybody, I'm going to Tenerife. I'm going to Tenerife. It's for my husband's cousin's hen do. And I've been telling everybody, oh, I'm going to Tenerife. Which I also said to my mother-in-law at the weekend. And she turned around and went, Bev, we're not going to Tenerife. Oh, okay. We're going somewhere else. Now, I have just realised that the bride doesn't realise where we're going, so I'm not going to tell you where we're going. But for some reason, I had it in my head we were going to Tenerife. Isn't it weird how some things just, you know, you get them in your noggin and you're totally wrong. Right. So you can see, good time for an interlude. You can see we have used paint, we've used collage medium, we've used all the things we would use on a normal, for want of a better description, page. Okay, so you don't have to worry that your burlap page is going to be any different in terms of what it can take media wise. It is just a case of using all the mediums you have for art journaling. Now, they might look different, they might react slightly different, they might, do you know what I mean? You might get a slightly different effect, but you can use all of them as they are. Okay. So let's put that to the side. Okay. And then I'll start looking at sticking these down. It was Dominique, honestly. It was just funny. It's just the way she looked at me as if I was absolutely bat mental. I'm not considering. Oh dear. Okay. Who knows? Call me own. Sounds quite nice actually. A few days of Tenerife on my own. Right. Take a journal with me, some pens. Fine. And then I'm going to put this one here. Now obviously with your collage medium you do have a little bit of manoeuvrability as well. So you can, like, for example, I don't want that in line with that. That would just be a bit too, you know, precise. Oh, I'll tell you what would look good on here, Sammy. Where is my silver Sharpie? We have got some silver and gold Sharpies on the website. No, I've got my gold one, but it's my silver one I want. That's been my favourite noise this week, because nothing really bad's happened, but there's just been a few frustrating things, so I just keep going pfft when things aren't going my way. Nope, 'tis gone. Fine. I will be boring and use a black Sharpie to go around here. And then, ooh. Now, the other thing I want to show you is you can stamp onto the burlap, but obviously you will get a very sort of mixed effect going on there. Okay, so I'm going to get... I know I'm going to be predictable with my ticker tape ones, I know I am, but do you know what? I actually don't. It doesn't bother me. If something's good, it's just good, isn't it? You know, it's just good. Food. Right. I've got a little bit of watercolour paper under here. That'll work. I didn't know if it'd be white enough to offset the white highlights we've put on, but it is. But I have to say, making that little square of well, it was a rectangle of stamping tissue with the mandalas, I can't lie, that's probably been my funnest bit. I absolutely love doing that. That was so much fun. It reminds me of when I used to do pro markering when I was precise and boring. I don't think people that do pro markering are precise and boring. When I used to do that, I was a very regimented scrapbooker. I used to colour in images and then make my mum cut them out. But I was a very regimented scrapbooker. I know it's hard to imagine, but I wouldn't have dreamt of making the inky freedomy mess that I do now, because everything had to be equal and layered and multiply layered and all sorts of things. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, I used to sit for hours colouring in, but as soon as I was colouring in, I was finished with it. I didn't want to see it anymore, and I gave it to my mum, just turned it into cards. And in fairness, that's how I kind of feel about making that stamping tissue background then. I could have sat and done that all night. Lovely. Lovely. Okay, ticker tape one. Again, no, it's been popular in the spring sale, but there is still some on the website. Sam's done you a link. I think we're way past time for ticker tape 4 though, aren't we? I mean, we desperately need a ticker tape 4. Because ticker tape 3 was ages ago. I'm sure I've been promising ticker tape 4 for so long. But it is one of those things, I have to say. Bear with me. When we say, oh, we want to do this and we want to do this, we are actually telling the truth. We really do want to do it. time does not always work in our favour. You know, may the odds be ever in your favour. The odds are time is not. Okay? But as well, if you were, I've got some here. You know, another thing you could add to this if you wanted to is Sam's texture stamps, Sam's background textures. You know, you could add in sections in different places, in just little bits, okay, to build up your layers. You know, like I say, I was planning to put butterflies across the top, but I think that would have made it too busy. What else have I got in here? Oh, from Journal Art Elements 1 or 2, you know, these little circles that I've stamped on book paper, okay? They're just stamped onto book paper. Because they also bring in, I think, a real sort of natural element from, like, that would go with the craft, okay? And, you know, sort of tie the two in together, which are really good. The thing with the Sam's art backgrounds that I was showing you, though, is they're actually really good for cutting up into sections, which a lot of people, I mean, they're relatively new, so I don't think these have really been. For example, this one here, you know, you've got that piece, which is there. You know, that circular bit, which is there. You know, really, you can really chop them up and create lots of little bits that you can add into your journal pages or any 3D projects, really. Any of your crafting projects, card making, anything. Which is great. Now, you'll see, I don't know if you can see, but I'm hoping you can, in your texture paste, where I've gone over the distress ink with that, it's actually wicked it upwards. So you can actually see the pattern of the Doodle Art mandala coming through into the texture paste, which is cool. Really cool. And you can interlink them, absolutely. Guess what, Sammy? I need more collage medium. Oh dear. I don't think anyone's really surprised. Truth be told. I am not talking. Your sound hasn't gone. I was concentrating. Okay. I haven't decided whether they're going to go on yet. I don't think they are. I had lots of plans to make this sort of much more, with much more on it, to be fair. But I don't think I'm gonna, because I think it looks really good as it is. And I don't want to overcook it. So what I'm going to do, just for a quick second, so that big mat isn't interfering with your view, just put that down on there so you can actually see what it looks like on its own, which, to be honest, I suppose doesn't really make sense in a way, because it's not going to be on its own, because as soon as I fill that page. But if you were here a couple of weeks ago, I did say this is my next journal I'm trying to work through now. So I should have done this page next, but I wanted to work on the burlap for you. That's what I wanted to work on. Is it quite busy already? No, not for me. Usually there'd be a load more templates added to that or something in the background. I don't know. But for me, no. But that is not going to make Sally's White Space Challenge, is it? At all. That's not going to work. But yeah, so I was saying about the houses earlier being great, being super duper coloured in, like they are in the backings. I have done, obviously, a lot of colour on this one, on the first page. This is Villa Rose in the XL. You can see these ones are much bigger. And that's Sky Terrace, so that's that one here. But in the XL. And that one, I just stamped in black and white and just left it. Because sometimes it's just enough. Okay? It is just enough, which is really, really cool. And what I love about in your journal is how you can have pages like this one that's got one, maybe two colours on it. And then you go to something like this. You've got every colour on it. And then you flip over and you're using craft card with with pearly paint and whatever. And that's what your journal is really for. It's for playing with all your products. It's using them. Absolutely. That's what they're for. Don't just sit and look at them. Use them. It's what they're made for. You're not fulfilling their destiny if you sit and look at them. Okay. Right. So, thank you very much for joining me. I might add a couple of extra squiggles in, but I think they're pretty much done. Thank you very much for joining me. Like I say, I'll be working in my Dylusions Jumpstart journal tomorrow in Crafting Together with All Brands. And then, Sharon, you love that blue page. That was a couple of weeks ago, that one. And then Sally is here tomorrow evening. And I'm sure she'll be telling you what she's up to. I'm positive she's told me, and now I can't remember. And then Sam will be back on Friday with a Chit Chat Friday. Okay. We have decided that Sam probably needs a couple of Friday afternoons off a bit. Okay. So she's going to start letting you know when she's here on a Friday and when she's not. So you know. Make sure you tune in if you do like a Chit Chat Friday. But we'll try and get all the most recent Facebook Lives over onto YouTube if that's where you want to watch. Even if it's not, if you can go over to YouTube and subscribe to us, that would be absolutely amazing. That would be fabulous. We would very much appreciate it. Alright then guys, you have a fantastic rest of your evening. And remember, if you are making things with your Be Crafty stamps, we would love to see them in the group. Okay? Please share. We would absolutely love to see it. All right then, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.